Ransomware attacks happen all of the time. As of 2019, 85% of managed service providers reported it as the most notable malware threat. Since they're so common, you've probably heard of ransomware attacks before. Hackers use this type of malware to hold a victim's information hostage, blocking access to the data until the victim pays a ransom. But even when the victim does pay, the attacker still might not restore access all the way. This results in huge monetary losses and more system downtime for the victim. Because of these consequences, your team needs to know what these cyber attacks are and how to prevent them. One of the easiest ways to educate your staff is by sending ransomware awareness emails. If you don't know how to do this, don't worry, you're in the right place. Hi everyone, I'm Matt from eTactics, and today I'm going to share ransomware awareness emails to send to your team. Before we get started though, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button below. While you're down there, hit that alert bell icon next to it as well, so when we post new helpful content, you get notified. The first kind of email you should send to your team is one that explains what ransomware is. That way people know how to identify an attempt. A survey found that 37% of employees don't know what ransomware is. Even worse, 32% who had experienced an attack still didn't know what it is. After hearing those statistics, it isn't shocking why employees are a huge threat to organizations. Without knowing what these attacks are, people can't identify risks or attempts to prevent them from happening. This is where training comes in. Of course, your company needs to provide formal ransomware training so everyone knows what it is. But some people might forget what they learned in the training, so it's helpful to also send reminder emails. These should explain what ransomware is, why hackers use it, and common hacker techniques such as phishing. Once your team knows how to identify an attempt, they need to know how to avoid them. Without knowing how to prevent attacks, they'll still occur even if your workforce knows that this threat exists. Since so many of these hacks occur from phishing attempts, you need to explain the risks to watch out for. You can share best practices for avoiding phishing email attempts, such as not clicking links from someone that they don't know and never sharing personal information through email. These ransomware awareness emails are also a good place to provide specific prevention methods your team has, such as protocols for notifying the IT department of an attempt. Next, describe the consequences of an attack. 71% of targeted organizations get infected. Companies experience an average of 21 days of downtime after a successful ransomware attack. This leads to major financial impacts. Monetary losses are due to downtime expenses, lost business from damaged reputation, and or paying the ransom. Small businesses alone can lose at least $713,000 per incident on average, and attackers are getting more expensive since hackers demand more in ransom when they're successful. From 2018 to 2020, the average requested fee increased from $5,000 to $200,000. Now, with all this stuff, I'm not trying to scare your staff away, but it's much more effective for them to understand the risks of attacks if they know the negative outcomes. Seeing real-world examples reiterates the importance of identifying and avoiding these attacks. No one is perfect, and it's possible that attacks will occur even if your team knows how to identify and avoid them. After all, 95% of all breaches occur due to human error. This is why you should also explain how to respond to an incident. Inform them of your company's response protocols, such as who to report to and where to find them. This will maximize the time that your IT department has to respond to an attack before more data gets compromised. Likewise, you should inform your staff of any known attempts or attacks. Since hackers often target users through malicious emails, your team should be aware of any active attempts. That way, they know that they need to be cautious of a malicious email in case the hacker targets more employees. With how often ransomware attacks occur, it's concerning how many people don't know what they are, even if they've already experienced one. If you deal with sensitive data, chances are that you're already provided with some form of cybersecurity training. If you don't, then it's only a matter of time before a breach occurs on your organization. But even if you do, there's still a risk because no system or team is perfect. This is why you should use ransomware awareness emails to reiterate what your employees should have learned in their training. They can refer back to these at any time for the ways to identify, avoid, and properly respond to attacks. If you'd like to learn more about ransomware awareness emails, reach out to eTactics. And you already made it this far into the video, so you might as well like it, share it, and comment below. What are you waiting for? Subscribe to our YouTube channel.